You are currently living in a world that is about to feel like it is standing still. Right now, your phone is likely running on 5G, and you probably think that is pretty fast. But researchers in China just achieved a breakthrough that makes 5G look like a snail crawling through peanut butter. They managed to transmit data using something called Terahertz waves, hitting speeds that are literally 100 times faster than what you have now. Imagine downloading every single movie ever made in the time it takes you to blink your eyes once. This is not just about faster TikTok videos or gaming without any lag at all. This is a massive shift in how the entire world is going to function over the next 10 years. China is currently leading the race for 6G, and they are not just winning by a little bit. They hold about 40% of all the patents in the world for this specific technology right now. That means they are basically writing the rule book for how the future of the internet is going to work for everyone. In this video, we are going to look at how this one breakthrough is changing the global economy and power balance. We will see why this might create a digital iron curtain that splits the world into two different internet zones, and we will explore how 6G could actually let doctors perform surgery on patients who are thousands of miles away. By the time we are done, you will see why the race for 6G is the most important competition on Earth. Let us start with the science, but I promise to keep it very simple so anyone can understand it. To understand 6G, you first have to understand what the scientists in China actually did with those terahertz waves. Think of internet data like cars traveling on a highway, where the frequency is the width of that highway. Current 5G uses frequencies that are like a 4-lane road, which is great but can still get crowded. Terahertz waves are like building a highway with 10,000 lanes that stretches into the sky. China's breakthrough involved something called orbital angular momentum, which sounds complicated, but it really is not. Think of it like spinning the data as it travels, allowing more of it to fit into the same space. It is like taking a flat piece of paper and rolling it into a tube so you can fit more in a box. By doing this, they proved that we can send massive amounts of information through the air without using wires. This matters because it solves the biggest problem we have with the internet today, which is capacity. As we add more smart cars, smart fridges, and smart watches, the current airwaves are getting very crowded. If we stayed on 5G forever, the internet would eventually just stop working because there is no more room. China's successful test showed that we can open up vast new territories in the wireless spectrum. This was not just a small lab experiment. It was a demonstration of the backbone for the next era of humanity. Now you might wonder why it matters so much that China is the one doing this first. It all comes back to those patents I mentioned earlier, which are basically legal ownership of an idea. When a company or a country owns 40% of the patents, they get to decide the global standards. If you want to build a 6G phone in America or Europe, you might have to pay China to use their tech. It is like they own the patent on the wheel, and now everyone else has to pay them just to build a bike. This gives China a massive head start in the global economy that will last for decades to come. They have a very clear roadmap to have this technology ready for everyone to use by the year 2030. They are using their massive 5G network, which is already the biggest in the world, as a testing ground. It is much easier to build a second floor on a house if you already have the strongest foundation on the block. But 6G is not just about towers on the ground. It is also about what is happening way up in space. China is currently launching clusters of small satellites into what we call low Earth orbit. The goal is to connect these satellites directly to the 6G towers back down on the ground. This would create a network that covers every single square inch of the planet, including the middle of the ocean. Right now, if you go into the deep mountains or out to sea, you lose your phone signal completely. With 6G, you could be in the middle of the Sahara Desert and still have a perfect video call. This is what they call the Satellite Ground Integrated Network, and it is a total game changer for global travel. Another huge part of this breakthrough is how they are using artificial intelligence within the network itself. In the past, if a cell tower broke, a human had to go fix it or change the settings manually. China's 6G vision is an AI native network, which means the network actually has its own brain. It can see when a part of the system is getting tired or slow and fix itself before you even notice. It is like a car that can change its own oil and fix a flat tire while you are driving down the highway. This makes the entire system much more reliable and much cheaper to run over long periods of time. They are also working on something called integrated sensing and communication, which is actually kind of spooky. This technology turns every 6G base station into a giant radar system that can see everything around it. The radio waves do not just carry your text messages, they bounce off objects to tell the network where they are. This means the network could track every car, every drone, and maybe even every person in a city in real time. For logistics companies, this is a dream because they can track their packages with perfect accuracy across the globe. But this brings up a huge problem that the rest of the world is starting to get worried about. If one country controls the network that sees everything, what happens to our privacy and our data? This is where the global impact starts to get very messy and complicated for everyone involved. Many Western countries are worried that using Chinese 6G tech is like letting a stranger live in your house. They fear that all the data moving through these ultra-fast networks could be watched by the Chinese government. This has led to what experts are calling the Tech Iron Curtain, where the world splits into two teams. On one side, you have countries using technology led by China and their standards. On the other side, you have countries trying to build their own version led by the United States and Europe. If these two systems do not talk to each other, your phone might not work when you travel to another country. It would be like having a light bulb that only works in your house but won't screw into a socket anywhere else. This fragmentation could slow down global trade and make it much harder for scientists to work together. China is already moving fast to make sure their version wins by using the Digital Silk Road. This is a plan where they help developing countries build their internet infrastructure using Chinese equipment. By giving these countries the gift of 6G, China ensures those nations are locked into their tech ecosystem. This gives China massive diplomatic leverage because they can control the flow of information in those regions. If you control the internet of a country, you have a lot of say in how that country grows. This is not just about economics, it is a major shift in how global power is measured. In the old days, power was about how many ships you had. Now it is about how many bits you can send. The military implications of this breakthrough are also something that is keeping generals awake at night. 6G speeds are fast enough to track hypersonic missiles, which move way too fast for current radar. It also allows for massive swarms of drones to talk to each other instantly without any delay. Imagine 10,000 drones acting like a single flock of birds, moving in perfect harmony to complete a mission. Without the zero latency of 6G, those drones would just crash into each other or be too slow to react. The country that masters this first will have a massive advantage on the battlefield of the future. This is why the trade sanctions and export controls we see in the news are so important. The US is trying to limit China's access to the best computer chips needed to run these 6G systems. But China is responding by pouring billions of dollars into their own domestic chip-making factories. This back-and-forth struggle is going to define the relationship between the two superpowers for the next decade. However, if we look past the fighting, the benefits for regular people could be truly incredible. Think about the digital divide, which is the gap between people with good internet and those with none. Because 6G can reach the most remote villages via satellite, it could bring education to everyone. A kid in a tiny village in the mountains could attend a class in London via a perfect hologram. It would look like the teacher is standing right in the room with them, even though they are miles away. This is what people mean when they talk about holographic communication and the industrial metaverse. It is a world where the physical and digital realities are blended together so well, you can't tell the difference. We are also looking at a massive change in how we take care of our bodies and our health. There is a concept called the Internet of Bodies, where small sensors are placed inside or on your skin. These sensors would track your heart rate, your blood sugar, and even your stress levels every second. With 6G, this data can be sent to an AI doctor who can catch a heart attack before it even happens. If you need surgery, The best specialist in the world could operate on you using a robot. Because 6G has zero lag, the doctor's hand movements are reflected by the robot instantly. If there was even a tiny delay, it could be dangerous, but 6G makes it as safe as being in the same room. Our cities will also become much smarter and more efficient thanks to this breakthrough. Traffic jams could become a thing of the past because every car will talk to every other car constantly. The cars will negotiate who goes first at an intersection so perfectly that traffic lights might not even be needed. This would save billions of gallons of fuel and reduce pollution in every major city on the planet. 6G could also help us save the planet by monitoring the environment with incredible precision. We could have millions of tiny sensors in the oceans and forests tracking climate change in real time. This would give scientists the data they need to stop disasters before they get out of control. But all of this progress comes with a very high price tag that someone has to pay. Building a 6G network requires a lot more base stations than 5G because the waves don't travel as far. This means we will need to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to replace the gear we just bought for 5G. There is also a big fight coming over who gets to use which frequencies of the airwaves. Different countries want different parts of the spectrum for their own military or commercial use. If we cannot agree on a global plan, the 6G dream might get stuck in a legal nightmare for years. There are also huge ethical questions about how much data the 6G network should be allowed to collect. If the network can see through walls using radio waves, who owns that images and that information? We need to create new global laws to protect our privacy before this technology goes live. China is currently pushing their own ideas for these laws at international meetings like the ITU. The world is watching closely to see if we can find a middle ground that everyone can agree on. If we fail, we might end up with a broken internet that is less useful for everyone. But if we succeed, 6G will be the biggest technological leap in the history of the human race. It will change how we work, how we play, and how we interact with every object in our lives. China's breakthrough has officially fired the starting gun on this new era of history. Whether you are in New York, Beijing, or a small town in Africa, your life is about to change. The global impact of 6G is not just about faster speeds, but about a whole new way of living. We are moving toward a future where everything is connected and nothing is ever out of reach. It is a world where distance no longer matters and information is as free as the air we breathe. The race is on, and the stakes could not be any higher for the future of our global society. We are standing at the edge of a new frontier, and the view from here is absolutely wild. China has taken the lead, but the story of 6G is only just beginning to be written. Every new test and every new patent brings us closer to this futuristic reality. It is going to be a bumpy ride, but it is one that we are all going to take together. The way we see the world and our place in it is about to be transformed forever. Make sure you keep an eye on this space because things are moving faster than ever before. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on how tech is changing our world, check out this next video.